Hi, and thanks so much for joining me for my top 5 bronzers and top 5 highlighters of 2021. If you'd like to see that, please keep watching. I love bronzer. It's maybe after blush one of my other favorite things. I just think it really can transform a look, especially for me because I've got such different skin tones on my face. I've got a lighter center of my face, the exterior of my face is deeper, so I use bronzer to really help bring everything together. Otherwise it kind of looks like I'm wearing a mask. So bronzer is quite important for me in the overall look. Highlighter is one of those things so that if I was going to skip something, I would skip highlighter. But the ones that I found are really beautiful. So I have a very specific look with highlighter when I'm trying to decide if I'm going to actually use one, and if I do use it, what I like about it. So starting with bronzers, I'm going to start with this one because it was the favorite of last year and I still really love it. It's the SISLEY bronzer. You can see it has a bit of a sheen to it, so it's not completely matte, so you get a lovely glow with this one. I thought I wouldn't like something with a little bit of glow, but I think with bronzer it makes a lot of sense because you're trying to get that sun-kissed kind of look, and the natural finish of skin has a glow to it. So I really like that this is a beautiful shade. It looks really natural, especially on my skin tone. Sometimes the bronzers are too pink or too cool and then it ends up looking more like a contour, but this one's a really pretty bronzy tone on me. So I love this SISLEY one. It's still one of my very favorites. And this one was in the running last year as well. It's still a favorite. It's the Chantecaille bronzer in Sirena. If you're new to Chantecaille, they have 2 bronzers, one in Goa and one in Sirena. Goa is the cooler of the 2. And then this one is the warmer, more golden of the 2. So I love this one, of course, especially because of my skin tone. So depending on your skin tone too, you'll notice the ones that I'm picking have a warmth to them, because otherwise they will look like they don't look like bronzer on me. So I really need them to have a warm tone in them. And this one is beautiful. So this has a slight sheen as well, not as much as the SISLEY, but it's not a flat matte either. So here they are together. Of course, I'll swatch everything side by side for you so you can see comparison. I think that's really helpful. I discovered this one this year and I need to get a case for it, but it's the BOUCHE Rouge bronzer. It's really beautiful. This one is in the shade La Terre Brune. Another lovely, more golden shade. I really like this one. And the finish is also really stunning. So I think all of the bronzers that I've chosen give a nice healthy glow, which is what I'm looking for. And again, to deepen especially my forehead, because my forehead is deeper than the rest of my face. So I really need something that's gonna bring that color back to my forehead. Then we've got the 2 Chanel bronzers, and I'm choosing both of them because the light one is really nice, but it's not as deep as I would like it to be. And the deeper one is a little too deep, so I'm right in the middle there when it's trying to decide between 2 shades and whether you're gonna go with the lighter or the deeper. I used both of them, so I'll just kind of take my brush and put them in both of these and then apply. Actually, I have some of that on now. I have a few bronzers on right now actually because I was trying some of them out just to make sure I really do have the 5 that I want to highlight here. So the Chanel bronzers, nice, creamy, very natural look to them. And then this one's not going to be a surprise. It's the Terracotta Gold Bronze. It's by Guerlain. It's the one that has at least the gold design on it, but you can see it's just the most beautiful shade. And I love this one just to warm up the skin. I can smell it here. I don't smell it when it's on my face, but you definitely want to pay attention to that if fragrance is an issue for you. But it does deliver the most beautiful, healthy, warm, golden glow. I was so excited when I tried this one because it is a little tricky for me to find bronzers that work really well. Now for highlighter, I like something very subtle, something that looks like a liquid highlighter. So let's start with a liquid highlighter. This is the Chantecaille Liquid Lumière in Brilliance. So this is a more liquidy kind of highlighter. I like it because the particles are very tightly packed. So it's not like you see individual particles of shimmer. That's probably what I try to avoid in most finishes. So if you have any texture or anything like that on your skin, a liquid formula looks really pretty on it and has a tendency to not emphasize any texture that you may have. Powder products tend to highlight that a little bit more. Then we have another fluid product. It's limited edition. It's the Iridescent Illuminating Fluid by Chanel in Ivoire. You can see why I love this. It does have very, very fine reflective particles in there, and you can see it's got a peachy golden tone about it. So that's why I love this one. I love the tone, and I also love the way it reflects the light. You can mix this one into foundation if you like to make your foundation more glowy, which I've tried before. It looks lovely, but you can also use this just to tap on as a highlighter, and I love it for that. So I love multi-use products like this. Then we have one that's not so subtle, but the way that this catches light is so pretty. The pattern is getting worn away because I do use this quite a bit, but has more of like a pinky tone to me. Not something I normally gravitate towards, but it's a really beautiful one on the skin, a skin enhancing kind of highlighter. And I think, again, I think I talked about that in blush. The criteria is the same for highlighter. It needs to enhance the skin, make it look more beautiful. And this does. It's so pretty. I actually have this on somewhere in there. I put on a few highlighters to play with them. But this is a really pretty one, more a pinky tone though, versus champagne. I think most of these have more of like a peachy champagne tone to them. And then, oh, speaking of a pinky champagne tone, I picked this. This is kind of like an interesting highlighter. It's the Westman Atelier. It's the Super Loaded Tinted Highlight, which I actually use more as a blush than anything else. And I love this for when I do a smoky eye. When I don't want to put on much blush because I don't want it to compete with the eye, I'll go in with this. It gives the most healthy glow. I think it makes it look more modern, more fresh, even though you have like a dramatic eye. And then putting this on really just illuminates the cheeks, gives it a nice glow, just a hint of color, but nothing that's going to distract or take away from a dramatic eye. So I really love this for that. 'Cause sometimes I get a little bit like unsure of what kind of blush to put, or even if I should put a blush, but this is just right on the border of adding a little bit of glow and just a slight amount of color. So I really feel like this is a great one if you like a smoky eye. And finally, I love the highlighter in this NATASHA DENONA palette. This is a dark one. So I have the light one here so you can look at them together. The light one is beautiful as well. The one in the dark palette is a little bit more golden than the one in the light palette. So there, oops. So here's the light and here's the dark palette, and you can see it looks like it has a little bit more of a golden hue to it. And this one looks like a liquid highlighter when applied. I actually have it on here. So if you're looking for something that looks like a liquid highlighter, this is a really, really gorgeous one. So those are my top 5 bronzers and top highlighters of the year. From those 5 bronzers, I will pick 1 bronzer, and from the 5 highlighters, I will pick 1 highlighter and come up with a list of favorites for the year, where I have 1, hopefully just 1 per category, a foundation, concealer, bronzer, blush, eyeshadow, eyeliner, etc., and come up with a full face of favorites. But let me know what your favorite bronzer and or highlighter are for the year. I would love to know. Please leave it in the comment section below. But that is it for today's video, so please take care of each other. Stay well if you enjoyed this video. If you learned something, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you next time.